Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast episode on Mums on Cloud 9. Today we are going to be exploring some different career paths that you can go down and particularly looking at the opportunity of whether being a Salesforce developer is right for you or not. And to talk about this topic, I'm delighted to have Sally ElGhoul here, who is an amazing developer for one, but also she's built this incredible resource to help other people upskill as Salesforce developers. So she seemed like the perfect fit to talk about this topic. You know, when we talk about carving out a career in tech, people think, oh, I need to be a coder. And actually, you don't. You know, we always talk about 6 different job roles you could go into that don't require code. One of them does. And there's lots of different roles you can go into that suit different attributes. But today we are going into code because it's like, well, actually, does this suit you or not? So, Sally, welcome to the show. It's lovely to have you here. We met in Vancouver, which is great. And I was like, oh, I love what you're doing. We should connect and do something. So it's lovely to kind of regroup with you. So just tell people a bit more about you, your background, and what it is that you're doing in the world around development.
For sure. Thank you so much first for having me. It's a great opportunity and it was great meeting you in Vancouver too. To give you a brief introduction about myself, I'm a lead Salesforce developer. I've been working with Salesforce Just Coding since 2010, so 15 years now. Before that as well, my background is development and computer science. I was in computer science as university in Egypt, and I have master degree in robotics. So I love coding and technical stuff for a long time now. And I was based in Egypt, moved to UK, lived 2 years there, and then moved to Canada in 2016. So it's been quite a journey. I met different people, different cultures, different companies. So my main focus, I love development. I try sometimes to be more as a technical architect or like to oversee like the process, but I love hands-on always. So I keep my hands like on the keyboard and developing. And I love teaching. I was teaching assistant as at some point as well. So I love sharing knowledge and helping others and giving back to the community. So I started Code with Sally in 2023 and live sessions in YouTube channel in 2024. So that's briefly, and I'm a mother of 2 kids as well. So busy, busy.
Busy,
Amazing.
busy.
Absolutely. Well, it's great. I mean, it's lovely, like you say, it's nice to give back and to teach people. And what made you do that, though? What made you set up Code with Sally and actually start disseminating content?
Usually, like since even university, I was always the person who loved like if someone is in trouble or they have issues understanding something, I love to explain it, always to help others. And as well, I believe like the more you explain and teach, it get the information stick in your head as well, or like you figure out you're missing something and you want to learn more about it. And I always had this idea to share the knowledge, especially like when I started development myself at the time in 2010. There was no trailhead. The community wasn't like as strong as now, so it was harder to find resources and get the information. So I always had the idea like I want to give back and share the knowledge I have with others and making easier for everyone to start. In 2023, I started to be a Red Woman coach as well. So I got into the ecosystem more like in giving back. And this is where like I always doubted like if there will be interest in if someone wants to learn what I know or everyone is an expert because that's the people around me working with me on projects, they know what I know. So I always like doubted that would be interest. And Red Woman was like a waking up moment for me that there is other people there that they are looking to learn and they are looking for an easy way to learn and to get up and started. And that's where it inspired me as well to start it. My idea is to start something simple, not to use like heavy technical terminologies when I'm explaining whether on the blog or the live session, always to keep like the information in small bits and pieces and simple. So this is where it got started. I started first with the blog, then I felt that I'm missing the interaction and dealing with like people, giving them the chance to ask questions live and me helping them understand more or to learn from their questions. And that's why in 2024, I started the live sessions in English. And one night I found like someone from Egypt joining at 2 a.m. Egypt time. And they were interested to join, but it was hard for them to join at the time I was delivering the English session. And that inspired me more that I can start the Arabic sessions as well. So I started a different one for Arabic speakers as well in different time to make it accessible for the different time zones.
Oh, kudos to you. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just from my side, I mean, obviously numerous questions. I did have a look at your blog earlier, and I see that both you and your husband are into Salesforce. So I'm sure your house is your hobbies are outside of that. But what would you say is the biggest misconception of people starting out in coding?
I believe the biggest is that they have to be like coming from IT background or having university degree in computer science, or they have to be heavy on math and being math genius, or that it's super hard and it's not for everyone, or it's hard to start. So in my opinion, it's a career path anyone can take or try to take it. It doesn't require heavy technical background. It's mainly you need to be curious to learn, ask questions, like be able to learn something new, open to understand something different, love puzzles and games, in my opinion, because it's not always straightforward the development. You have to go through trial and error, thinking what's the best way to do it, and not to be scared to try something new. And that's where, as well, Code with Sally can help because starting from what is code, what it means coding, or how we can think about it if we are thinking English language, how we can translate it to coding. So I believe there is big fear out there of becoming a developer, and a lot of people think it's not for them because they are not coming. They are, for example, finance or healthcare. Like they feel like it's not for them and they have to be stuck in like the admin role. But I believe it's for everyone.
Excellent. So I suppose the biggest misconception is thinking it's harder than it is, maybe.
Yes, and that's you need a university degree specific for a computer science or to be able to do it. It's not that, like that, in my opinion.
I'll have a watch and see your beginner's session then.
I know I'm going to have a watch as well. I mean, the thing is that things can always feel hard if we don't learn in the right way for us. We always talk about different learning styles that supermums. And a lot of people come to supermums because they like the live instructor training and led. And they've tried learning themselves on Trailhead and they just don't get it. They've got nobody to talk to. They've got nobody to brainstorm with. They're kind of learning independently and then it can be hard, right? And I tried to learn development and I just found it hard. And I think, I'd love to start again, like, right, let's see if I can do this because it's finding the right trainer for you. It's finding the right learning resource. I guess my question off the back of that, Sally, is like, what's the minimum requirements to do like the course? I mean, Salesforce admin certified? Is there other certifications they should have before they embark on a coding route or doing your training programs?
I would say like you can have at least minimum understanding of what is Salesforce, some knowledge about the admin points and clicks, like what an object means, what is a custom field formula, like simple information. I always say you don't have to be an expert or an admin certified, but to know little basics about like the ecosystem or Salesforce. But other than that, like my beginners here start with like, as I mentioned, like what is coding, what means a code, and we started very slow, and that's something different we do with Code with Sally. Like the other issue I see with people starting, they start comparing themselves to experienced developers or developers with 30 certificates, and they want to be at their position or at their level of experience at the same time today. So they start caring about certification more than just learning. And that sometimes take them to resources where it's maybe good if you're having experience with development, but it can be overwhelming if you are starting from scratch because it's very condensed, targeting the certificate. So the other thing is just take it slowly. learn bits and pieces, build your knowledge. You will get there, and don't compare yourself to other developers out there and try to be in their shoe at the beginning as well.
I think that's
Mm-hmm.
so right. When you think you're going to do anything in life, you've obviously always got your end goal, your target, but sometimes you overthink about, how am I going to get the cert in this? Because there's so many, ups and downs in your learning journey that sometimes you think, I'll never be able to do this. But obviously that's imposter syndrome, isn't it? But
Yeah.
when you started out, I mean, what sort of challenges did you face, and how did you overcome them?
For me, starting as a developer, like the challenge was I was switching from working with C Sharp and ASP.NET. At the time in 2010, there was no Trailhead, there was no like community as big as now. So it was more self-learner learning, like reading documentation, trial and error. So it was harder to start at the time than now. And in terms of starting Code with Sally as well, it has had its own challenges, like to spread the word, to let people know about it, because um, at the beginning, like low views, like not so many people attending the session, sometimes it can be like not motivating to keep going. But I decided like even if one person is benefiting from the session or learning, that means I'm making a difference there. And that kept me motivated and going as well. So it's always like to find a motivation and something good, even if it's not the best at the time of starting, to keep you going.
Love that.
Yeah, well, we started Supermums. We started with 3 people on the first course. Then it was 7, then 15, then it went up to like 60 per cohort, and then you build, right? Because you build a reputation and people recommend and refer you and, it builds. So we all start. But I think going back to your point, it's about the value you create and the learning resources. A question that came to mind, I suppose, like you say about, where you've come and where you are now and ease of learning. How much do you think like tools like ChatGPT are changing the landscape? And have you done any resources around how to use those things in development work?
Yes, so it's a tricky question because sometimes people get into the mindset now that they don't need to learn the basics or learn
Mhm.
coding and rely on the tools. And I keep telling my attendees and learners like the tools are there to help accelerate, but it's not there to replace your knowledge. You have to know what you're doing properly and learn the basics because it can suggest something wrong, something not the best practice. If you don't know it's wrong or right, you cannot make the decision whether you would use it as is or change it. So you have to learn the basics and always build your skills and don't rely on it. Does that mean we don't use it? No, like use it, but when you have the knowledge, it can accelerate. Keeping in mind the security, like don't share like the client work, client code base, personal details, and so on. In regards of the like the tools, like I have a couple of sessions like we were exploring how we can use Agent Force for developers. So to help people within the Visual Studio Code use the Agent Force for developers to accelerate their coding. So I
Mhm.
try like not to focus too much on it, but as well to give some resources how to learn to use it as well for anyone who's interested. And recently as well, we started a series explaining like agent force and prompt templates. We are going into like the agent and actions and how we can connect Apex and ground the prompts with the Apex invocable methods. So I try to keep it balanced as well, like not too much AI because sometimes people get like attracted to that and forget about the basics, but I incorporate it during the session as appropriate as well. It's there to accelerate, not to replace you.
No, it's interesting, isn't it? I think learning the basics is really important. The other application for this really is when I started being a sales consultant and was managing developers on a project, I wouldn't know if their code was good or not, and that's the worry, right? So I feel like even if you're managing Salesforce projects and overseeing it, even understanding the basics, if you're not going to be the developer, it's fine. But if you understand the basics, at least you can quality assure, that you're getting the basics right. And then let's say you use ChatGPT on top of those resources to do it. Do you teach Sally in the different types of code? So again, it kind of, growing a consultancy and going, oh, there's different kind of developers and different skills. There's kind of those that are this is my technical knowledge of how I communicate this, but there's the Apex coding, and then there's Lightning components, and then
Yeah.
there's developers who are better at HTML and like the Experience Cloud interfaces, which are more front end developers. Where's your teaching in that spectrum? Is it all of it? And there's integration as well. So there's this whole like range of developer skills. Where do
Yeah.
you niche, or kind of are you across those?
The target or the end goal is to have a library on YouTube for everything, but we cannot, like the same concept, I cannot be doing everything at the same time. So I chose to start with Apex first because in my head, it's needed for Visualforce pages, it's needed for LWC, it's needed now even for Agentforce and the building actions. So I believe it's key information that you would need it regardless which like front end development you are using. So that's where I'm focused now. But in the future, we'll be touching base a little bit about Visualforce pages because some like legacy is still using it, or some functionality. Sometimes we say we have to use Visualforce pages, so we still need to learn it. And LWC definitely something we'll be covering, but like again, it's the main focus now is Apex. We touch base a little bit about integration. In the future, we'll have a series about integration only, but the starting point is Apex. And when someone asks me like if where they should start because it's a lot of tools or a lot of skills they need to build, my advice is always to start with Apex and then augment on top of it with the other front end.
That's good. We know where to start then, Heather.
Yeah. Should we put in a peer study session?
Definitely. I definitely want to have a
Coding
look
with
at it.
Sally will be there on the screen.
Yeah, looks interesting. Does look interesting. I think from my side, when I talk misconception, I think my misconception was don't even look at it. But I think I will after hearing this today for sure.
Yes, please feel free. And I always say to anyone, like if they are watching offline, like I encourage to attend the live and ask questions. Sometimes people are worried about their picture of them if they ask a question that seems too easy. I learn from the questions, so it's always welcome. And if anyone needs to ask a question, like they can reach me on LinkedIn or join Code with Sally Slack as well. And that's the community open for everything. And to add to Heather point as well, like I had multiple like attendees, their main focus is admin and they are admin or project manager and they are not hands-on keyboard like developing. And they felt the benefit of attending the session because they learn more vocabulary. They can now talk to other team members in a better way when it's coming to technical, or if there is a bug, they can look into the code a little bit and understand what's going on. So it's even, in my opinion, it's skill. It's good to build, even if you're not developer. If you're working in Salesforce, it's good to know a little bit about it, even if you're not developing yourself. It will add to your skills for sure.
Absolutely. And tell us just, Sally, recap a little bit on you talked about live sessions, obviously your blogs. Do you have on-demand content now? And is there a charge for any of your training?
Currently, no, to be honest. Like, I prefer to give it back for free. I don't know, maybe in the future I will have something on demand or like with charge. The funny thing, I experienced like this, and I had different chat with different people who are creating content, and they said like always the attendance for the live sessions they used to do for free or content for free, people didn't take it as serious as when they switch it to on demand. So there is a temptation like to switch it to be on demand, but in my head, I want to give back. So for now, it's all for free, available the live session for anyone, the YouTube recordings. But I don't know, maybe in the future, I will add on top of that, like the on demand to help others like who prefer that type of structure to learn more as well.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think people join Supermoms again because they want the accountability and structure, and they buy into that. That's why they invest, and that by themselves they're just not self-motivated. So all that stuff's there for free. I'm just not into trailheads. Like I'm there. I have to do it. If I like renew my certifications. But yeah, I'm not motivated. Whereas if you buy into something, you're like fully there, committed, showing up every week. So absolutely, it makes sense, and people value it more as well. But I mean, hats off to you, Sally. It's amazing that you do all of this. You invest your time. You have a full-time job. You have 2 kids, and you're delivering loads of free training. So thank you from the behalf of the Salesforce ecosystem. And I'm sure
Yeah.
many of our Supermums community will, be thanking you and be wanting to sign up. And I say it's so valuable for everybody, just to learn the basics, to have that conversation, to understand, to review, and you never know, they might become a fully fledged developer off the back of it if that's where they want to go as well. So that's awesome. So thank you. No, really, it's been really interesting conversation. Then any other questions from you?
Not questions, no, but just to reiterate what you just said, Heather. I mean, absolutely. I think it's so important wherever you are, whatever job you're doing, to have some idea. So absolutely, it's something I'm definitely going to do. I'm not saying that I'm going to go away and be a developer, but I just want to have a look at a couple of your YouTube videos and maybe join one of your lives as well. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll be looking for that. Thank you so much. And yeah,
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much for spreading the word and helping other moms out there in different careers and different advice. That's inspiring as well. It's great. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, let us know when the next live session is, and we can share the link for it. And Lynn's going to be throwing out jargon in the next team meeting. I can see showing off,
It
and I'm
will
like,
be.
oh, I've been doing this for years, but I don't know what that means.
Definitely.
Oh,
I mean, it's like you say, and I know I've said it before, but the misconception, I think, on coding is probably something that is so important to get that word out there, that it's not, well, I haven't looked yet, so I don't know. But it's not as hard as people expect it to be, because you have that ideologist, I guess.
And I want to add to that, like, even if someone is watching the YouTube video and they feel overwhelmed, that's why I encourage people to join the live sessions, because
mm,
it's their time where they can ask questions. So
yeah.
if I give an example that it's not easy for someone while they are watching on YouTube, I can give another example that can make it easier for them when we are having the discussion. So the live session is a great opportunity as well to ask questions, like to share, like if you have a concern, if you have a topic, even if we didn't cover it yet in the session, I always tell people, like, share your questions, ask your questions. And that's sometimes how we can shape what's coming next in the next sessions. Or sometimes I create a dedicated videos to answer those questions and post it as well on YouTube. So it's not limited to the content we have. It's more like an opportunity for anyone to ask questions and learn the way they prefer. So don't, like, if you're watching and you have questions, please feel free to ask.
No, thank you so much. And what's the website and YouTube channel? What's the name?
The YouTube channel is Code with Sally. The page on LinkedIn is Code with Sally, and the same the blog. We post the on LinkedIn, like the events and when it's happening.
Mm,
It's usually on Thursday. Currently, it's every Thursday at 12 p.m.
okay.
Eastern. And
Okay.
it was in the past 7 p.m. and we found like it's not like aligning well with everyone's time zone. So we pushed
Mm.
it to 12 p.m. Eastern, hoping that helps more people. And yeah, but the LinkedIn page always have the updates for sure, and YouTube channel where we upload the recordings.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you, Sally, for joining once again, and hats off to you for everything that you're doing. And we'll be sure to tune in, link and report back. I will. I am committed, but I know it happens.
Yeah, let me know what you think. I would be
Yeah,
waiting
we'll
for
do.
your
Yeah, no,
feedback.
we'd love to. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get a cohort of supermums on board with it. And we've had some supermums go through who've never had any developer backgrounds and are now developers, right? And they wouldn't have expected that, I don't think, of themselves when they started out, but they love like building things and they want to find out more. So I think, I'd say, Lynn, don't underestimate, the opportunity. You might fall in love with it. I think absolutely it's about finding the right learning provider, the right training for you, because that's, trying different training. Don't do training and then go, actually, that's not for me. I think, definitely check out Sally's content. So thank you.
Yeah. And
Oh,
one thing as well I want to add, like, if you feel like it will be helpful to have a session for like super moms, like if you have like an interest and they want to have a starting session, how to get started, I'm happy to organize it with you and help everyone. And another thing is, as Lynn mentioned, my husband as well is in the Salesforce ecosystem. He run another session called Yalla Salesforce. It's he has English and Arabic. It's more for admin and beginners. If that's something like they want to learn on YouTube anytime as well, they can do that. But again, if you need a startup session for development, I'm happy to organize it and help more moms get into the development.
Well, that sounds like a great
Love
opportunity.
that.
Thank you. I'll definitely take you up on that. So thank you once again. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank
And we
you.
look forward to seeing you on the next podcast episode. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank,
Heather. Thanks, Sally. Take care.
thank you. Thank you for having me.